speaking of right and wrong, this is from the Daily Mail. Shocking video posted online lay bare just how crime-ridden downtown Minneapolis has become. Oh, but anger is good. If anger is good, why is there so much crime? But anyway, crime-ridden downtown Minneapolis has become, with a police horse harassed and sworn at, people brawling, and illegal street races happening near where rowdy women twerked on top of a car outside of a gay bar. Watch this. Wow. That's anger is good, right? Did you ever imagine? Those people are angry. That's why they're doing that. They see nothing wrong with what they're doing because they've been convinced that anger is good. And they're out of control. They cannot see what they're doing. They know not. Forgive them. They know not what they do. And their government, their leaders have given them permission to be that way, to do it. Just do it. I've never seen this kind of stuff happening, until the last recent years in this country. I have not seen this kind of stuff happening. But this is where your leaders want you. And because you're not in control of you allow yourself to be controlled by others. This is what we get. No bail bond, no police, let all the criminals out, legalize drugs. Women carrying on as bad as the men. It's just not going to work until you take back control of your own life, until you become your own man, your own woman. But when you are being controlled, you have some leader over you, you're a follower and not an individual, this is what you get. And it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better in America. You can hang that up. And I know they're saying, elections are coming up soon, real soon now. Republicans are going to take over the House and all that mess. The Republicans are not going to make it better. You could vote every woman in on this side of heaven. She's not going to make it better. It's not going to get better. If you rely on the government, you can hang that up. You can hang it up. Forget it. You're still turning your life over to someone else. We now have a one-party system in America. Republicans are doing what the Democrats are doing. They're running blacks. They're running women. They're running homosexual people. Everything. They're doing exactly. How would things get better if you're doing the same thing that the Democrats are doing? Because you want to prove that you're not racist, you're not homophobic, you're not against women, you're not this, you're not that. The Republican Party wasn't that way in the beginning. In the meantime, look what's happening in the country. Oh, the first woman, yeah. Oh, amazing. She's smart. She's tough. She's this. Women are not strong. It's just that men are weak. And any man that think a woman is strong, you're really saying that you're weak. These women are emotional. I don't care what title they have, Republican or Democrat or doctor or lawyer or whatever. They're emotional and they live in their imagination. And they're going to do the same thing. This is from the Daily Mail. Speaking of right and wrong, how do you define right and wrong? This is from the Daily Mail. Their first story from the Daily Mail as well. Beauty giant Ulta, I guess that's a beauty company, invited a transgender influencer on their podcast, The Joy of Girlhood, which is hosted by a gender fluid, whatever that means, host. What's a gender fluid host? Nick can tell me it could be either way, however you feel when you wake up. What the? Here's that soundbite.
Now I know I can find love. I know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day. And I absolutely can. And that's why the narrative still has a long way to go, because when I was grieving Boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even accessible to me.
How will a man be a mom? That ain't never gonna happen. But it's been pushed as though it will. I want to be a mom. I know I could be a mom. What's wrong with you? What a mess. A male saying that he can be a mother. What made him think that? Just think about that. The experts did. The government did. The government did. The teachers, the schools did. And yet you send your kids to school every morning. How many of you got up this morning and sent your child to a public school or your children to a public school because the mother want to go to work and act like a man? She want to feel her purpose. She doesn't feel like important being at home raising a man's children. And then after a while, the kid come home in a dress, talking about being a mother. And you wonder what happened. Parents, not all. Parents do not love their children. They do not love their children. I don't care what you say. Any mother, especially one that's married, I understand that the one that's not married and you have children, you got to go to work, right? But any woman that have children and married and you're going to work and sending the man's children off to daycare and schools and places like that, you hate your kid. You can lie to yourself and say you don't, but you do. You're about your ego. You're about you, and you can care less about the soul of the children. And that's what's going on in America today. That's what's happening. What's your definition of right and wrong today? It's a very mamma mia interesting question. Picture this. You're wearing one of our amazing Stop Having Sex Out of Wedlock shirts, right? You bought it at rebuildingtheman.com/store. You're walking down the road with this amazing shirt on, and someone asks you, "What's wrong with why is it wrong to stop having sex out of wedlock? Why is that wrong?" So many people ask that question now. We used to know the answer to that, but not anymore, because anger is being pushed as good. The devil has played a trick on the country like I've never seen before. But that's what happens when you take the man out of the family, take the man out of the schools, take the man out of government, take the man out of the workplace, and you replace it with the devil. And this is what happens. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. You can bank on it. What's your definition of right and wrong? I remember when I reflect, when I had anger, I know what anger feels like. There's no good feeling in anger, even though you try to deceive yourself. But there's no good feeling in anger. Nothing good about it. That's why people are depressed, suicidal, worry, lonely, revengeful, anxiety, jealousy, envy, because you're angry. And there are people who literally do not want to get rid of the anger. They want to hold on to it. There's nothing you can do about it, right? But they want to hold on to it because they believe it's them. They believe it's normal. In spite of not having no peace. Anger is not a good feeling. This is what we have now. Remove Christianity, the greatest religion on this side of heaven. And even churches are pushing it. Churches are saying that anger is good. Everybody angry, and you're right, because everybody born into crazy families, into anger. They're born into families who are angry. Mothers who hate the fathers, fathers who hate the mothers, and they're fighting, and they impose that on the children. What do you think? Every human being must be born, if you want to be free, must be born of the spirit of the Father. You must return, folks, because it's not going to get better. And that means with your fear, your anxiety, you're going to get worse as well. Medication ain't going to solve, will never solve spiritual issues. There's not one person or one thing on this side of heaven that can do that unless you're born again of the Father. So if you want to overcome all that conflict you have, and everybody got it now, except the few who are truly seeking the right way, they are overcoming it. What a mess. What a mess. Bring back Christianity. It's disappearing. Now you see why they try to get rid of it. Look what they're bringing in. They're replacing it with evil, anger. Most people literally do not believe that you can overcome anger. They don't believe it. Everybody has it. You need anger to function. You need anger to get the job done. You need anger to protect yourself. You need discernment. You need a higher level of consciousness. You need stillness. You need stillness. All that hooping and hollering stuff you do, praising the Lord, ain't working and ain't never going to work. Stillness will work. The highest form of prayer is stillness. It's not hooping and hollering. If hooping and hollering would work, why are people getting better? I saw this story put on by Christians where this boy was supposed to, and he had a father and a mother. He had cancer. And they were praising the Lord and carrying on. And the boy went to another state and he got treated. As supposedly he overcame the cancer. And his friend who didn't believe in God, she asked, "Oh, how did you do it?" It was the Lord. I want to be a Christian. What shall I do? I want to be like that. I want to be a Christian. He got this piece of paper out of his pocket. Okay, repeat after me. Do you believe Jesus died? Do you believe he rose? Do you believe this and that? I do, I do. Now you're born again. Oh, I feel so good now. What a sad way to live. That's not it, folks. That is not, if it was that easy, the world would be at peace. I got to take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and your super chats, 888-7753-773. Back in a moment.